Hi guys, Jamie Johnson here with 55 Minute Fitness, coming with a really exciting recipe that is sure to please, and that is pumpkin spice protein pancakes. This is super macro friendly and everybody's gonna love it. My husband and my kids love this recipe because we are all about flavor, and who doesn't love pumpkin spice? So this is super easy because it only requires 5 ingredients, really 4 main ones. You'll need 3 egg whites, pumpkin puree, oats, pumpkin spice, and stevia. What you're gonna do is it's half a cup of your pumpkin puree. All right. And then I use 3 egg whites. Okay, so here's the 3 egg whites. Now I like to whisk that together. I just use a fork. You could use an actual like wire whisk if you prefer. Get that all incorporated. Whip it all together. This is so simple. Simpler the better, I say. You can actually even make these ahead of time and refrigerate, like cook them and refrigerate them, which I have done, and they last, I've eaten them a few days after. I don't know exactly how long they'll last, but they'll last a good amount of time, and you can reheat them in a pan or in the microwave, whichever you prefer. So if this is something that you're meal prepping, totally doable. Now I don't have a specific amount of the liquid stevia I use. I just kind of put a little spritz in there. It's maybe about a teaspoon, give or take, but you can always add more sweetener later. And then, so that was half a cup of pumpkin puree, 3 egg whites, some liquid stevia for sweetener. And I like mine very spicy, so I do about 3/4 of a teaspoon per serving of the pumpkin pie spice. So that's that, pumpkin pie spice. Incorporate that. And then what I do with my oats, my quick oats, is I make a flour out of them. So I have some oat flour. I usually keep it in a little container, like a little Tupperware container like this. But all I do is I take my rolled oats and I process it really quickly in a coffee grinder. You can use a food processor or a coffee grinder. I think a coffee grinder, it's so fast and it's easy to clean, because again, it's all about efficiency and simplicity for me. So you can do that ahead of time, or you can just, you know, mix some, and I just am using 2 tablespoons. So 2 tablespoons of oat flour is what I like to use. Move that down. So just add that in there. Now this is gonna be a pretty dense batter once you get this all incorporated. So you see how quickly, I did have it pre-measured, but I made this, I was just craving something really, really sweet and wanted something pumpkin spice. Okay, you're just gonna get that nice and mixed up. Now let's move the camera. So I have a pan here. I like to use ceramic, or you can use whatever you want. I like to use ceramic, or I can't think, copper. I use a little bit of nonstick spray. Let's just heat it up a little bit. I'm gonna turn it up. Now the trick here is these can be really dense. So it's not like a pancake mix that will just easily spread. Make sure that's hot enough. You really wanna make sure that's preheated. You know, like if you make other pancakes, it seems like the first one is always almost like a test one. Like you can't get it quite hot enough. So usually just makes 3 or 4 pancakes, but I like mine smaller, especially because these are dense. So I put it in there and then I kind of spread it out a little bit. Like this. Because otherwise it's going to be a little too thick, and because that pumpkin puree holds a lot of moisture, you don't want it to be so heavy that you can't flip it. So I just kind of like spread it out a little bit. You could use the back of the fork or use a spatula, whatever works for you. I'm just gonna turn that heat up a little bit. So while we're waiting for that, what I like to do here is cook it until the edges, I can see it kind of, my can line is like making a halo, until I can see the edges kind of brown a little bit, or it'll start to change color. It starts to get a little bit lighter, and that's when I know I'm ready to flip it. Kind of change color. I don't know if you can see that, where it's kind of, see how you can see where it's a little bit thicker, it's more orange, and then it gets like a lighter color. That's where you can tell that it's getting to the doneness, but I'm kind of being impatient about this right now. Oh, it smells so good. So good. So just kind of work it under there and flip it. Now what you're gonna wanna do is just repeat the process. So put some batter, spread it out, make sure that it's kind of even, not too thick, and then just wait for the color to change. Wait till you see it kind of get brown and you'll start to smell it. It'll probably happen faster than the second or the first one. This is what I like to do at the end. Just repeat that until you've used all the batter. It's wanting to go further than I want it to. Okay, there we go. So I like to use, this is granulated stevia in here, and just sprinkle some on top. Instead of doing syrup, I promise you will not miss it. And then I just have some cinnamon, toss some cinnamon on top. And I don't have any right now because we're out, but I even use like a dollop of Ready Whip on here. Per serving, Ready Whip is like 1 gram of fat and 1 gram of I can't remember if it's protein. Now I can't remember. It's like 1 gram of fat, 1 gram of carbs. It's so low. So you put a dollop of that, of the whipped cream on there, and it's like pumpkin pie. So good. So these are so amazing. Taste so good. Pumpkin spice protein pancakes, and I have to have a bite because they smell so amazing. So good. I'm wishing now I had my Ready Whip, but we ran out. So amazing.